Welcome to season 2 of episode 9. Nailed it. All right, let's start that again. How many false starts did you ever have with your show?
With my podcast?
Yeah.
I think my podcast is an ongoing false start.
No, but seriously, I make the most mistakes out of anyone on the podcast. Oh, really?
Yeah, 100%.
Man, your editing skills are pretty good in that case.
I paid someone to do the editing for me.
It's not you, is it?
No.
Okay. I'm like, wait, is the genius behind you also been sitting here all along?
No.
Because there has to be a genius behind him somehow.
Yeah.
I do like doing his podcast. I do like doing headlines for it. It's fun.
It's a great segment.
But then I don't want to listen to it after it's recorded.
You're one of those. No, because I think with this kind of art expression, there's two mindsets. The ones that have to listen over and over and over again to their own material to get to like a different, viewpoint.
I would listen to myself. I don't need to listen to him.
Okay. That's the reason.
I love that we've been waiting for like an hour to record this, and Kristýna has held back all these sick burns for when the camera is rolling and the microphones are on.
That is the true sign of a professional right here, and I'm happy to have you here.
Thank you. So, happy to be here.
All right.
Paul, thank you for having me back.
Oh yeah, you are here as well. Yeah. Actually, yes. We can't have this. We can't. You've literally been on this podcast now the most.
Oh, am I the most frequent guest?
I think you're 3 times now.
Oh.
This is your 3rd time now on the podcast, making you a whore
for any sort of attention that
First
I can
of all, but also I can't have Grant Gallagher again here.
Yeah.
So I can offer you a variety of fake mustaches that you can.
I'm going for the one called Scoundrel.
Because in your imagination you want to be that.
No, either that or.
Okay, you get the Scoundrel.
Well, he can't grow his own, so he would be happy to use this one,
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, then you get the Scoundrel.
Thank you.
Do you want a fake mustache as well?
Yes, please.
I don't know.
Everything you say has the energy of an 8-year-old that finally got what they wanted, but also they don't want to show too much excitement because they know they could take it away from them again.
I just hear that I've been called 8-year-old, which means slim, so I take it.
I think just before, you might want to edit this out, but you have a massive bit of, something in your teeth.
Oh no. My wife has sabotaged me again with delicious food. First my body, now this.
I noticed them lying around, and I hoped they would be used, but I didn't want to ask for it. I didn't want to look needy.
Mustache.
Because unlike Grant, I can grow my own,
Oh, God. That's the difference between a Western and a post-communist upbringing, isn't it?
Oh man.
It has it sticks to you, so it will pull out my own mustache when I take it off.
It's a Brazilian in one. Yeah,
amazing.
Everything is multi-use here, so okay.
How you look? How I look?
You look beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, so welcome to episode 9 of season 2 of Paul's Palaver Paradise. Terrible Paradise.
You almost said therapist. That mustache is going to your head.
Sorry, you look like.
Let me show you.
You look like.
That's a compliment women always want to hear, is when you can't even finish the sentence what you look like because you're laughing so hard.
I don't know, you picked the perfect mustache. I don't know, this is your mustache.
Thank you.
You look fantastic. And today we have 2 fabulous guests who stay at my place because they're homeless bums.
Obviously.
I mean, comedy is a well-paying gig, mate, and
It is.
my name is Roberto Rodriguez.
Well done. And we have...
Maria Rosaria.
I love that you both went with Spanish names. You both ate some Mexican candy and you're like, yeah, we're both going Spanish, right?
I'm actually Italian.
Thank you guys so much for being here. It is a pleasure having you here for the first time.
It's good to be here. And you are?
I'm still me, bro.
Okay.
I think. I'm not sure anymore.
Just an even creepier version of yourself.
Mustache over mustache, yeah. Oh, I should do that. How can you... I hope that picks up well on the cameras too. I mean, there are benefits to 4K. You know, you can really.
It just looks like it was lying around for a while. Just hope we won't get the rash from the glue.
If we get a VD from these mustaches.
What have you been doing to the fake mustache?
No, I left these alone with Tamas, so you know. He gave it a mustache ride of its life, you know. All right, guys. No, you're here for comedy purposes, obviously, and you've been on tour for how long now?
3 days.
Yeah, we did 3 shows already.
Yeah. This is the day where it starts blurring together. Yeah. Now, traditionally speaking, from touring experience myself.
It's blurring together due to the lack of sleep rather than anything else.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love that there's always, like, this misconception of normies. No, when it comes to, like, anybody who has, like, a traveling job, that it's gonna be like, oh, you're gonna meet so many people, and you're gonna be
party,
and you're gonna be at so many places, and you're gonna see so much. But really, it's train, sleep, maybe food, maybe a show, depending on how bad the situation is, pandemic, and all these other things, and then just rinse and repeat until you're dead. Yeah. So I don't know where this. Is it just popular media? You think?
Yeah, dude. Like, it's people when people think touring, they think of like bands, don't they? Like fucking Motley Crue and stuff like that. And
but they still worked. Like except for like one or two of those guys, but they're dead now. So you know, the ones that live are the ones that normally do all the shit. You know, and the ones that are dead are the ones that did too much heroin.
Yeah, but with comedians it's different. If you have musicians, bands, you know, it's a big group of people.
Right.
Even if it's a relatively unknown band, at least that band has like band members and maybe a driver or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true.
But as a comedian, you can literally be touring alone.
Yeah.
You know, I promoted few gigs for like American comedians. I had here like Judah Freelander, like you know him from 30 Rock.
Oh, he's fantastic.
And you just pick up a dude on an airport, you know, with a little carry-on suitcase, you know.
Yeah. I mean, if you bring Gallacher, he has like a shipping container full of props, but.
Yeah, he needs to rely on a magic now.
Yeah, right.
Fuck's sake. I can't believe you're saying that I have props when you have literally got us wearing fake mustaches. You son of a bitch.
Oh, not that Gallacher.
Oh, right, okay. I was sitting here going like...
The biggest prop comedian.
Oh, right.
Sorry, Gallacher 2? Is that his brother? Does that help? Are you Gallacher free, by the way? But who are you?
I think, let's be honest, I'm quite far down the list of Gallaghers. Like,
Gallacher 78. on the Comedy Central top 100 list of Gallaghers.
This is true. If you Google my name, not that I've done it, but I have been told that if you Google my name, the first thing that comes up is a Scottish footballer from 1975.
Oh shit! Okay. He doesn't even have a profile, right?
It's news articles about him.
Oh no! From back then?
No, from dying.
Oh no!
He's a Scottish footballer from 1978.
In his death
on the pitch.
Oh my God, that's amazing. I mean, that's literally you, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if you were still allowed to smoke on stage, you would totally do.
Still alive.
Is there something you miss about comedy? Like, let's look back, like maybe 40, 50 years that you could do back then that you can't do now, like smoking on stage?
Smoking on stage, I think I would really like to smoke on stage, but also it is like, it can be distracting. There was only one time when I first moved to Prague and I was still smoking weed. We did a show that was in a hostel where it was like a big weed smoking hostel, Žižkov it was called. Mm-hmm. And it was the first time ever I got to smoke a joint on stage, and I was like, this is going to be brilliant. I'm going to be so, you know, I'm going to be able to figure stuff out and blah, blah, blah. And I took like 2 puffs of it and immediately just forgot all of my material. Do you know what I mean? Like, instantly.
See, that would be a better anti-drug advert than this is your brain on drugs.
Also,
it's just Grant being on stage like,
I lost, also, like, it was like, and like, I lost all concept of time.
Oh, no.
Do you know what I mean? So I stood on stage, I was laughing.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody else was.
No, they weren't. I organized a show, and I am not weed smoker myself, right?
Yeah.
I don't smoke at all. So I ate.
Straight edge. Okay.
I ate space cake instead.
Okay.
Because I don't,
because you're a civilized person.
And it kicked in, and I was host of the show, so I kept coming back. And I barely hold it together. And what was hilarious about the gig was that there were few tables of different audience members, and you can tell that not every table were weed smokers, because we had like coke head table.
Oh my God! So
we had
islands of drugs.
We had mushroom table because I brew mushroom tea for that occasion. And we had a lot of weed heads for sure, like pot heads, but it was like. You could literally see like how the vibes were like bouncing from each other of those like different things. It was, yeah.
It's a difficult room to MC under the best of circumstances, you know. Right.
Yes.
Never mind being out your tits.
Yes, but it put me in that state that I was like, never mind.
This too shall pass.
Yes.
I was supposed to announce at the end, like, do like a poll and like who was the best comedian, and I just given up. At the end, like the show ended, like we went through the last comedian. I was like, this is the end. Bye.
Oh my God.
Oh dear.
Oh Jesus Christ. But do you miss, or not miss, but would you have something that you would like to do on stage that you can't do anymore?
Well, I'm a woman, so I'm happy I'm allowed to go on stage.
Right. You can't go too far back into the past. Yeah. We can do stand-up in 1880, you know, but a lady...
These mustaches would certainly help with that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we would kill on stage.
I think what I not miss but would like to have is not to work with social media as much.
Okay.
Right.
Because it's different to be a comedian today, because you expect it to have a Twitter account, YouTube channel.
Right, it's the replacement for
memes
word of mouth.
On Instagram and things like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then it's more difficult to build off just off of touring, basically.
Yeah.
If you don't have that following.
Yeah. Our good friend Tamas, who interfered with these mustaches. I'm sorry. It looks, earlier on it was migrating over here. Now you've moved it. It just looks like there's a caterpillar slowly crawling across your face. Like he's doing well on TikTok. There's another guy, Dragos from Berlin. He's doing incredibly well on TikTok.
Yeah. He's murdering.
But like the Kristýna's right. Like you need that sort of pool.
Yes.
You know, because if people say to you like, "Oh, what's your socials or whatever," and you don't have anything up there, then they sort of don't think it's worth their time, really.
Yeah, I see it from a booker point of view. Like if I see a good content on somebody's social media, I'm more likely and more open to booking that person. You know, because it's a level of professionalism as well. At least you see that they care.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. If somebody just has a shaky video of them like with like no stage lights and no sound.
I see you've seen my YouTube channel.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, yeah, you know, I bring the horse to water. I can't make it drink. I can make it buy a nice laptop to finally get the shit off the ground.
This is absolutely true. Like, I've finally got a laptop, and Paul today is going to give me the software that I need to edit my own videos. Because the last time I brought my laptop here, Paul was trying to give me that software, and I took my old laptop out of my bag, turned it on. It made a sound like a plane taking off, and Paul laughed for 20 straight minutes. I didn't
know they made laptops with V8 engines. You know, like,
how do you guys power yours?
I thought the Ferrari laptop was just a gimmick. You know, like. I didn't know they.
I like it that you think I can afford a Ferrari laptop.
The funny thing is, Acer actually had like a collaboration in like 2004 or something like that with Ferrari, and they made a red Ferrari laptop with the Ferrari logo on it and everything, and it was supposed to be a racing themed laptop, but it was the hugest pile of shit ever.
Well, obviously,
yeah, because it's Italians.
I remember the visuals being in papers, like the advertisement.
Oh yeah, it was everywhere. Yeah. They tried to really sell that laptop.
Yeah.
Like a Ferrari, did it also just randomly burst into flames when you were
basically? Yeah. I mean, it's also an Acer, so you know. You know, the Taliban are using those for a reason. That's an IAD and a workstation.
You just don't know when it's going to blow up.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a randomized. You know, like they want to include surprise mechanics.
Yeah.
By the way, my favorite euphemism of the last 3 years: surprise mechanics. It's I don't know how deep you are into like computer gaming.
I play a little bit of Xbox.
Okay.
I don't play.
Okay. Do you ever play FIFA or any of that stuff?
I don't like football.
Okay. So okay, but basically, EA, like the big Electronics Arts, the big manufacturer. Yeah. Literally voted worst company on the planet 3 times in a row. Yeah. Like that's and that was during the time that Exxon and everybody else and
there
like
are
Raytheon.
Like Lockheed Martin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We make war drones, but we're not as bad as the guys who fucked up Star Wars. You know? At least we're not that evil.
Yeah. There's not a school bus we won't happily destroy.
Yeah, exactly. But if we want to ruin a Syrian wedding, we're going to ruin a Syrian wedding. But at least we don't put microtransactions into our games, you know?
So if we sold a game, it would come with Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was shot in this desert, you know?
Like, speaking of which, here is the Darth Vader of missiles.
Yeah. Oh my god! So the EA lawyers didn't want to call it gambling. The loot boxes that they input into games, so they started calling them surprise mechanics.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Which is my favorite euphemism, because my understanding with surprise mechanics up to that point was something you do in the bedroom where somebody else is like, oh shit, oh I didn't know you could do that, awesome, you know, that was a surprise mechanic up for, you know, or your car breaks down and suddenly somebody shows up and fixes it for you. That's a surprise mechanic for me as well.
Literally.
Oh, I mean, dude, the video game market at the moment is just nuts. Like Microsoft have purchased Activision Blizzard, and Sony's bought Bungie. Like it's they're becoming monopolies, just like the tech companies.
Yeah, it's like the train companies in the 1860s, 1870s. Like it's the same thing where we had like a golden rush for like 30 years where there's like 1,000 companies, and now we're like at 6 or something like that.
Our modern day robber barons sit behind a laptop, you know what I mean? On their
it's so insane. It's so insane. Like,
to go back to your question, I actually think the other thing that I think that I like is different from the olden days of comedy is there's just so much more of it.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like which is a good thing, I think. Yeah. Because when I was in Russia doing some shows there, the Russian comedians were saying to me that like when they do shows in Russian, because comedy's so new there,
right?
Like the only thing people expect is like oh, my mother-in-law, take my wife, I wish you would, like all that kind of stuff. It's like straight stand-up delivery, punchline. And
so you're saying Rodney Dangerfield would have done gangbusters in current day Russia?
But I mean, that's the only thing I could think of. I could think of like 1950s, 60s comics, you know, like that sort of, like working men's club type stuff. But that's filling huge comedy clubs in Russia. And then I was doing the little room on the side.
But it's getting there. Because like you did show in English without an interpreter, right?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Until a few years ago in Russia, there were English-speaking shows with an interpreter.
Yeah. Whoa!
There is a video by Andrew Schultz, who's now famous.
Yeah.
But he was invited to Russia. I don't know how many years ago. Not that long. Like let's say 4.
Yeah.
And he made obviously YouTube video about it, and I think he talked about it like still having a interpreter there at the show.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I saw a show once at a student union, because student unions are trying to be as inclusive as possible. They had a sign language interpreter there, and the first comedian came out, and all he did for the first 5 minutes was just say every dirty word he could think of, just to see what it was in sign language. It was genuinely hilarious. Like, it's really annoying when you're sitting there going like, this guy's getting bigger laughs than I think I've ever had in my entire life by saying like shite fart, you know what I mean? Just to see what this poor interpreter has to do.
Oh my god. I mean, come on, if you gotta troll somebody who has to stay there.
I was once in a cinema to see documentary, and it was just one-time screening, and it wasn't in Czech distribution, so it didn't have Czech subtitles, and they offered the option of the simultaneous, how you call it?
Simultaneous?
Yeah. So there was somebody in the booth translating, right? And it was this older lady, and the movie was a documentary about the pornographic movie Deep Throat.
Inside Deep Throat?
Yes.
Yep.
Great documentary.
It's a great documentary, but
great movie too.
Yeah, of course. But
Classic.
it's like, you know, it was very open, and the lady was often very silent on the other side of the microphone. I'm not even kidding. Do you remember? No, I think it was just too much for her to stomach.
She got so hot and bothered in the
Did you say it
booth.
was too much for her to stomach? Was that intentional?
Sure, but
she couldn't take it all in.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Like most like
quite a mouthful.
Exactly, but most of it is about that main actress, you know, not living very happy ever after. But then there is this scene about those two guys, like director and producer, and they saying the dirtiest shit like possible, like basically glorifying like the orgy parties from back in the day, and the lady was like, nah, I'm not talking about it. I'm tapping out.
Oh man,
the best one I've seen is not. I don't think it will quite top that. But there was a clip doing the rounds a little while ago, and it was a sign language interpreter, Megan Thee Stallion gig.
Yeah,
who was getting all the way into it, dude, and it was fucking. She was singing WAP, and I learned a lot of things.
Yeah, I can see that. Going back to the past stuff, I definitely feel like being edgy and woke was easier. Like
in the past?
Yeah, in the sense of like, to offend somebody, you literally just had to like be like cool with black dudes, you know?
Oh, I see. Okay,
you know, like you know how I like to hang out? Minorities. You know, and people would lose their shit. Yeah. You know, like
I thought you meant like it was easy to be like woke as in being accepting and stuff like that. Like
no.
Because back in the old days, like people were dropping like.
But it is woke as being accepted. It's literally what he said.
But with hindsight, you know, you could be like the most groundbreaking comedian ever, just by the fact of like being like, by the way, homosexuals. Coolio, you know?
the comedian you're watching on stage is literally dropping racial slurs about the person who works in the shop at the end of his street.
Yeah.
but you've got a black girlfriend and people are like, oh, that's a bit fucking much.
Yeah, you know, you pull a Bill Burr back then, and they're like, we're gonna burn his house down. You know, like, I mean, literally, like,
Dude, I mean, like
that would be a great insurance scam, by the way.
Oh,
You become a comedian in the 1950s.
okay.
You do a 10-minute set about accepting black people in the southern states. You bought a house, but you insured it before for fire, like for arson, and then they will burn it down. And you know.
You know what, Paul? That is an excellent insurance scheme, and all we need to complete it is a time machine, enough money to buy a house, and then the ability to commit arson and not get caught.
It's 1950s houses. It's gonna be like what, $260?
Dude, all you do is like turn on a light switch and the whole thing goes up in flames. Dude, that lead-based paint really went up like a blue torch.
I've got heavy metal poisoning just from standing next to it.
Dude.
And then the doctor's like, just walk it off. Because it's the 50s. Here's some pills.
Now with
The good pills.
20% less asbestos.
In the pills, right? Why would you put less asbestos in it? That's the good stuff.
It's a wonder material. I can't see there being anything wrong with this.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, you're a walking tumor. We have no idea why.
The only guy I have to high 6.
Oh dear.
Oh my god. Oh Jesus Christ. But yeah, no, I agree. Like I would too live in a world where it wouldn't be necessary to whore yourself out on the internet constantly and be like I would be okay with that if it wouldn't also invite the worst people ever to express their opinion directly into your face. Well, not directly, but indirectly into your face.
I also think that it has changed the way that people view art, right? Because we'll do shows sometimes, and people will take out their phones and start to film. Do you know what I mean? Like and then they'll say like, "Hey, can you not do that?" And they'll be like, "Oh, but I'm just going to stick it up on Instagram. Like, I want to put a story." And you're like, yeah, but don't. You know, it's like going into
just be in the moment.
Yeah, it's like going into a theater and like recording it or whatever, or fucking like being, and then people being like, "Stop doing that." Do you know?
But I think the problem with this specific thing is that people don't see comedy as copyrighted art form.
Yeah.
Because if you write a book, you would quote it if you would put piece of it online, right?
Yeah.
But if you hear a joke, you repeat it, and you don't necessarily quote anyone. I remember Sarah Silverman was saying that she was talking to this screenwriter. She didn't want to name anyone, but she said that it's common for Hollywood screenwriters writing rom-com, for example, and then watch stand-up on a Comedy Central and just like quote unquote punch up the script.
Oh yeah. I've noticed that before.
I mean, it happened. It used to happen in the old days. At least the guys would have to go to a comedy club, you know, and like write down the jokes that they thought were going to be good.
Or have a Walkman, you know, up there recording.
But now, like you go on TikTok or whatever, and you'll see people doing like, I don't know, Bill Burr bits or something like that. But but like they're acting out the thing that he's talking about, and because they're acting it out, it's like, oh, this is my thing. It's getting mad likes. And you're like, that is literally just somebody's set, you know?
Yeah. No, it is. I mean, like in Austria, the official classification for a stand-up comedian is ein Kleinkünstler. So even the Austrian state is like, no, small art. Small artists, you know, you're not a normal artist. You don't get the same pension fund. You don't get the same insurance fund.
Is that true?
Yeah, you're a small artist. Kleinkünstler.
Oh wow.
Yeah. We're the same. We're in the same classification as street musicians.
And what is the reason? What is the reasoning behind it?
Because cabaret is a Jewish art form. I don't know. And with your mustache and that face, you just you look like I talked to a Jewish person just now. Like
with the rabbi here.
Yeah, exactly. L'chaim. No, but that is one of the reasons why, I mean, so many American comedians have German and Austrian last names. It's because it was a Jewish art form back then, and it's still a Jewish art form now, to a certain degree.
That I understand, but do you think it's like historically really a reason why like
anti-Semitism definitely played a big part of that, and then general.
But one would have think that in 21st century you would, correct the law, which is originally anti-Semitic, no?
Sure, but now it's just beneficial to the Austrian state to not have the one force that criticizes you the most, speaks the most power to, because cabaret is way more political than stand-up comedy, and cabaret falls under the same thing.
Yeah.
And I think they don't. It's the only art form that doesn't get state funding. We get municipal funding. Yeah. So the city of Vienna is like, we have a giant cabaret fund because this is the city of comedy in Austria. Like, we want to spend that money because tourists come in to watch our shows and all that shit. But you go in the countryside.
I wish I could use some of that. I wish I could use some of that fucking money to get people in our show tonight.
See, and that's the problem. Stand-up comedy is again in even a worse position because we don't even have a legal representation yet in Austria.
Yeah.
We still need a Verein. Still need a club. I'm talking to Roland right now. We might have something set up by the end of the year, hopefully, that we have like a professional, a business address where when somebody's like, hey, who do I talk to about, not just setting up a show, but also like legal representation, basically.
Yeah.
Like, somebody stiffed me, because that has happened to me before, where somebody, especially like with video producing, especially, I've been less stiffed as a comedian, more as a video producer. Where somebody's like, oh, it's 300 a day, which is the normal going rate for somebody like me, and then they're like, oh, I'll transfer that money to you, and then 2 weeks later there's still nothing, and then 2 years later there's still nothing.
People act like invoices can wait forever. Do you know what I mean? When you're self-employed, if you send an invoice, or if you like comedy shows and stuff like that. I've done shows where people are like, oh, I'll just transfer it all to you at the end of the month, and then the
motherfucker
end of the month rolls
never.
around. The first comedy show I ever got paid for, I might stop me if I've told this story before, but I was in Aberdeen, and I was doing a show up there, and I was supposed to get paid 80 quid. Right, it was my first ever.
Wow.
I was doing a mid spot, which is pretty good.
Yeah,
and but
that's like what, 3 lines of coke? What is that?
In Glasgow, 10.
Oh wow! That's when it's like you buy 8 get 10.
We literally have 2 different types of cocaine in Glasgow. This is not a joke.
Oh no!
There's the real stuff, which is called prop, and then there's the other stuff, which is usually cut down way more, but we call it council, like a council estate. So you get prop for 100 a gram and council for 40.
Oh my god!
But anyway, and so I was supposed to do the show, and the guy came up to me afterwards, and he was like, "So Grant, well done tonight, all that, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Oh, feeling really good about myself." And then he was like, "Unfortunately, the tickets didn't sell all that great, so I've not got enough to pay you,
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Okay, cool, you can transfer it to me at the end of the month or something like that." But at the time, I was a mad pot smoker, so he was like, "Or I could give you 80 quid's worth of weed." And at the time, because I was a mad stoner, I was like, yes please.
Yeah.
But it made for a very awkward conversation when the next day I had to go to the train station to the lady, and I was like, can I get a ticket to Glasgow, and can I pay with this bud?
And
it's a Glasgow, she said yes.
Oh yeah, right. She's like, here's 2 tickets.
Come back.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god.
Yeah. But dude, it's actually it's funny when you mentioned government and comedy. The first thing that popped into my head at the moment is, I don't know if you saw, but Jimmy Carr's got a new Netflix special out, and in it he has a joke about the Roma people, gypsies, and the UK government up until now had been sort of trying to jump on the American bandwagon of like cancel culture is bad and freedom of speech is king and you should be able to say what you want and all that sort of stuff.
Sure.
And now, because there's a public outcry about this Jimmy Carr joke, and Jimmy Carr tends to fall sort of on the left, even though he doesn't pay his taxes.
Yeah. Hey, his dude didn't pay the taxes. Loophole.
Yeah, dude, yeah. I mean, the loophole's there. He's going to exploit it. But and so Nadine Dorries, who is the Minister of Culture, which is, if anyone who knows Nadine Dorries in the UK, is literally like something from 1984. Do you know what I mean? It's like war,
shit. Okay.
It's like war is peace. You know what I mean? Like this woman is the
abstract art.
Yeah, she's the Minister of Culture. Do you know what I mean? But it's wink wink.
Yeah.
And so she said, like, we should cancel this. We should have a law in place that the government is able to cancel comedians who say things that are offensive. And the interviewer said to her, like, isn't that cancel culture? You've been railing against cancel culture since you became the culture secretary. And she said, yes, but that isn't comedy. And I think that is very telling. You know,
that is not comedy.
Because if it's comedy that's not, you know, that we agree with, then it's comedy. But if it's comedy that we disagree with, or we can get brownie points for disagreeing with, then it's not
cool.
Comedy. Yeah.
Damn, son.
It's hilarious. Like when I mean, you're talking about like more of a right-leaning government, but don't you just love it when like somebody who's left-leaning like bite themselves in the ass? Like I like, for example, Whoopi Goldberg. I love that woman. I think she's
great in Star Trek. I love her in Star Trek. Guinan is one of my favorite characters.
What the fuck is that all about? We still don't know, and I want to find out.
Yeah.
When Q turns up.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. Oh yeah.
She does this like weird magic symbol thing.
Yeah, and Q is like.
Q is like, whoa.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kristýna.
Yeah. I don't have much to add to it, but it was just batshit crazy. Like she basically said that Holocaust wasn't racist.
Yeah.
Whoopsie doozy.
I think it's actually quite interesting because she's almost sort of accidentally fallen for what is normally a right-wing talking point, where they say that you can't be Islamophobic because Islam's not a race. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's like that sort of thing. It's like but I mean, of course it was racist. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, that was the whole point. Yes.
I mean, explicitly.
Sorry,
but they put it on the posters. You know?
Yeah, this is the final solution with this particular race.
Yeah, exactly.
Solve for X. Yes.
Yeah. Less of a race. Maybe that's what she meant. You're not qualified.
Oh my.
I am.
Wait, isn't Whoopi also Jewish? I feel like she's also Jewish.
Whoopi Goldberg?
I think Goldberg is a Jewish last name.
Oh my god, I never actually considered that.
Yeah, so I think she's Jewish.
Really?
I think so. I mean,
I don't think so.
Either that or
I mean, Goldberg again. That's like. I
hate to say
this. Is
it
her real name?
I hate to say this. But
is that her real name?
I hate to say this, but could it be?
I mean, the first name is Whoopi. I mean.
That's a good point.
I can't fault that logic.
Her dad was a big fan of the cushion, you know. Christ. Could it be that maybe
she was conceived in a dollar store?
In a joke shop. It was just all auga.
The dick came out with the box with the clown inside.
Yeah, dude. Their method of contraception was one of those things that you think it's a stick of chewing gum and it's a mouse trap.
Oh, that was a spearmint.
Oh, dude. I mean, I hate to say this, but could it be she's African American, right? Could it be that in the past, maybe there was a family called Goldberg?
Absolutely possible. Yes.
You know.
All right, let's.
Who they took the name from after certain people got freed from
Karen
slavery.
Elaine Johnson.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so Whoopi Goldberg was a stage name.
Yeah.
What did you say was the first name?
Karen.
She's literally Karen.
But Caryn.
Okay.
Karun.
Like Cameroon.
Oh God. We were just talking about racism, guys.
Yeah.
That was bad, and then you doubled down.
Well, she pulled off some white Karen shit,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, that is true.
I mean,
Shouting at Jewish people in the park.
The men she was married to, because she was married 3 times. I mean, Alvin Martin sounds like a fake name, like Alvin Martin, like a chipmunk, really.
That sounds like the name you give the police when you're caught drinking underage. What's your name? Alvin Martin.
Martin Short and Alvin from the Chipmunks, right? And David Gleason, who gives a shit, but then Lyle Trachtenberg is that one, because Trachtenberg, that is not Jewish, that is very German.
Which is like the opposite of Jewish.
Yeah, a Goldberg and a Trachtenberg in the same family.
It didn't work out? What a surprise.
Yeah, only 1 year. 94 to 95.
Maybe that's where she's coming from, you know.
Was that the first season of Friends, maybe? Like, she's like, nah, I'm out. Like,
oh my god. I do, like, as somebody on the left, I do think that this whole, like, cancel culture, I think, is generally a bad thing, especially for comedians, you know?
Yeah.
Because you do see it, like, people censor themselves and they try not to, like, say anything that's going to go too far. It's like the whole filming thing it shows we were talking about. And I think the left is in real danger of eating itself in that way, because you get this sort of mindset where it's like cancel culture has become the sort of meme for the right.
And also you're putting such a band-aid on a gashing wound.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, oh, this will fix racism,
And
right?
Also, of all the problems.
While the Chinese imprison a whole populace, you know, you're like, if I call her a woman that is worth as much as a man, this will fix it, right? You know, like it's
I'm white.
Of course this is important, but there's a
over here.
we have literal genocides going on. This is only, we're always talking about this will lead up to genocide. We have a few going on right now, you know, like we have a few buns in the oven already.
But you've got to understand that I've got to make it about me, so I'm taking out my dreadlocks.
Yeah, and it also distracts us, at the same time, which is also nice.
Yeah, it is like it is interesting. Like just a few days ago, one comedian was telling me, you know, Kristýna, I feel like I should have more jokes on the current topics like BLM or what was the other one? COVID pandemic.
The Me Too and all that sort of stuff.
Me Too and BLM. I'm like, you white dude. You know, from...
There's a surprise.
Oh, wow. Crazy, yeah.
From Mississippi. Keep talking about Jehovah's Witnesses, you know? They still a cult. You know? I was like...
People can work backwards from that.
Yeah. It's not a hard puzzle to figure out who that is.
Yeah, but I was like saying, I'm coming...
And the worst thing is, he would feel flattered.
He was very flattered. He was like, Kristýna, thank you for giving me a pass to keep ignoring those issues I just mentioned. No, but like but you know, like there, as you say, there are other topics. Like I'm coming from a post-communist country. I am more upset about, you know, Russia occupying
you for 60 years.
Yeah, and now occupying Ukraine because it's like it's too close to home, or China still being a thing. You know, as you said, it's that you were talking about genocide going on right now. Yeah, some of them are in China and not just one. You know, so it burns.
South Africa every 10 years or so. It has a
Myanmar as well. That one was helped by Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, awesome. Yeah, that was a great one, Zuckerberg. Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
It burns me more.
Move fast and break things. Coincidentally, whole ethnicities. Oopsie daisy.
Yeah, but it burns me more than some like white person on American TV losing a job over a wrongly worded sentence. You know.
Yeah.
Also
all of those, most of them are like millionaires. You know, the moment you get the cloud to be cancelled, you normally already have the monetary funds to survive a cancelling.
I also think like in some way, cancel culture is like I said, it's like a meme for the right.
Right.
It also doesn't exist. Do you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, it always has existed, or it has never existed, depending how you look at
but
it.
But who's been cancelled, really?
Right.
Realistically.
Louis C.K.
I mean, he's still working as a comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then
Not at the same level. He doesn't have the FXX show anymore.
I think when it comes to Louis C.K., like there were project cancelled. A large amount of people lost their job because series didn't go into production. Movie he wrote and directed was sacked from festivals.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a significant blow, and I'm not saying he should or should not be cancelled, but realistically, he had been cast out, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
and I mean,
he's coming back.
From all of them, he had the best redemption arc so far, where Louis C.K. has like acknowledged his mistakes, talked about it, and then also paid penance, like real penance for it.
But that's what I mean by saying that it's not a thing. Because Kristýna is right. He got cancelled at that moment. Some stuff of his did literally get cancelled.
Yeah.
But like showbiz is a fickle beast.
I would argue differently, because cancel culture it's literally a form of punishment.
Yeah.
So if you go to a prison for 5 years or you go to prison for 10 years or you get death penalty, you still convicted and serving time. If you in prison for a few years, it doesn't mean you didn't do time or that the prison system doesn't exist. You know what I mean?
I think so.
Yeah. The cancel culture, if you seen it too literally, like that person will never work again.
Yeah.
It's never the case, but it is if people's career and life are significantly altered for the worst. I wouldn't be worried to call it cancel culture.
No, I'm not saying that it's not a thing, but I'm also just saying that I do think that the thing that it's held up as is greatly overstated.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah, I mean,
like, I don't think it's an assault on free speech.
Oh no.
In the way that some people claim it is. I do think that it is worrying that if people start to police their own content or what they say and stuff like that, that's definitely.
Yeah.
But I do think that if somebody does something bad, like if you do a crime, to use your prison analogy, you serve a certain amount of time for a sentence, and then afterwards, when you come out, you paid your debt to society. And I think if you're talking
theoretically,
about,
at least,
if you're talking about the Louis C.K. thing, you're saying he's having a redemption arc. That's because he's paid his debt to society.
Yeah, but I also, what you're describing, I think it's a linguistic issue. Like what we see nowadays within, I don't know, last 10 years, like people talking about same things having completely different language. Like the division in between left and right or whatnot. People are not that different, but they talk about different topics and the language they use is completely different, despite the fact that they both speak English.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's they both talk about the same thing, they just name it differently.
Yeah,
that is true. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, what a fun topic.
I know, right?
Yeah. Paul's Palaver Paradise, really pulling it out to all the stops here,
It's very late, we should say.
Oh, yeah. Sorry for getting extremely blue for a while there, guys.
I think you should say sorry for keeping you up for yet another talk about cancel culture, It's like if white comedians didn't cover that excessively in every single podcast that exists,
Hey. If there's anything, I told you this is gonna be about nothing. So I think I kept my promise here. No, but seriously, guys.
Up next, racial slurs and anti-vax stuff. In keeping with the times, let's get cancelled by Neil Young.
At least it would be in good audio quality.
Yeah, man. Well, we'll just sleep on a pile of money.
Dude, Neil, it's nice to see an old fart like that still give a fuck,
I do like it.
No, because it gives me hope that when I'm 50, and I mean, I'm gonna be extremely jaded, my kids are not gonna be happy, you know, like they're gonna have to have a bit of therapy. Like I budget that already into my like upbringing costs.
It was just interesting for me to watch my dad try and cancel his Spotify subscription on his Nokia 3410.
No.
I'm still processing the information that Paul is planning on having kids.
Dude, we were saying this earlier on. Every now and then I forget that Paul's married. I'm like, surely not.
No, I'm keep forgetting that he's bisexual. Every time he brings up watching dicks, I'm like,
which we should stress
here it
is a lot.
Here it is. But my brains keep pushing it away.
Can we cancel Paul?
I think I'm self-canceling, honestly. Like, there's no need.
I would say no because I am a big proponent of watching dicks as well.
Oh my god.
I'm going to be Weinsteined here.
You wish.
999
Oh god.
Okay, now that we excised those demons, where can people find you guys? We're at the end of the episode already.
This is the end? Okay.
Yeah, we've been doing this for an hour now.
We have?
Yeah, this has been an hour. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, crazy, right? How
Dude,
time flies.
With the mustaches on?
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
It just swims by.
Honestly, this has been a big improvement to the show. Like, sorry, I can't look away from you. You.
It suits her so well.
Yes,
I know.
Yes,
I should
you
pull
look
it off.
so good. I would bang you right now, like as a dude.
Oh, I told you this was coming.
Yes.
You can watch.
Well, clearly.
Yeah, with that mustache, scoundrel.
You will film it.
We've got all the equipment right here. Yeah. And the mood lighting. This is where we're good to go.
Wait, let me set it to romantic. Wait.
You know what I miss from the old days? We were talking about Deep Throat. Old school porn.
Oh.
Old school porn.
That's so easily to find. You mean people should keep shooting it in that way?
No, I just miss it. When it wasn't about stepbrothers and sisters. You know what I mean? It was the plumber,
yes.
or the milkman,
yes,
or something like
somebody
that.
who's not related to you.
If I'm being honest,
size 6 being stuck in a washing machine, and it just takes me right out of it. You know what I mean? Like the suspension of disbelief is just broken.
You know, we had a show today in Vienna, and Grant finished his already very long set by bringing up an anecdote about American priest being on live television complaining about TikTok showing him young girls, and Grant was like laughing at his stupidity being it's algorithm. I mean, your Pornhub is algorithm too, Grant.
What can I say, guys? All right.
That's why you're so happy about the new Lenovo. Can finally play 4K porn files.
Yeah, dude,
VR finally.
Paul helped me get my new laptop, and I have not been the same since.
This is a very sticky keyboard for a new laptop.
Where can you find me? Behind my new laptop, wanking furiously.
Yeah.
I accidentally closed my laptop onto my penis when somebody walks into the room.
That's being very generous with how big you think my penis is, Paul. I appreciate that.
Okay, yes. Let's go back to reality.
Yeah, we're on tour at the moment. We are doing a tour called...
I mean, this is going to come out in like 3-4 weeks max.
Okay, well then, if you get Paul's time machine for his insurance scam, then we are on tour at the moment for doing it Behind the Iron Kilt.
Yes.
I am on Instagram at the Grantichrist.
Mm-hmm.
And I run comedy shows in Prague under the name Velvet Comedy. You can find it at Velvet Comedy CZ, so stop by. Both of us are usually there.
Mm-hmm. And you have a fantastic thing going on with Velvet Comedy. It's
amazing.
Yeah.
As somebody who has enjoyed the company of your shows.
Thank you.
It is always a pleasure.
I wish we could say the same.
Yeah. Hey. Wasn't me. Literally.
I'm only kidding.
This time, it's not my fault. Normally, I would agree with you, but this time wasn't me.
I don't want to sound bitter. Like, the show in Vienna was a lot of fun tonight. There was a Scottish guy who was a walking stereotype. And then there was one girl who'd seen me before and came back to see us.
Your first Austrian fan, yeah?
Yes, and I think that should just tell you that the crowds were drawing in when I recognised by name the people at my shows.
On this positive note, thank you so much for being here, guys.
Thank you for having us, Paul.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Yes, thank you. And we will see each other with other fake mustaches the next time. So
I truly hope so.
I will buy more. I will
Make it a thing. I'll stop by again.
I will say,
Perfect.
if people are in Prague, they should definitely check out Velvet Comedy.
Oh,
Kristýna's done a hell of a job.
Yeah, if you want to have an actual laugh, go to Velvet Comedy. It's easy.
She is for better or worse the reason that I'm in that city. So
Yes.
she has a lot to answer for.
Yes. Sometimes I have to apologize to people,
It's like the world's shittiest devil deal. You're gonna be funny, but also you're in Prague. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Paul.
And see you the next time when we will have somebody else on. Maybe. Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
All right, guys. This was amazing. For this late at night, you.